Thank you, Mayor. Next up, we have Larry Hesson, Hendricks County Councilman and a member of the Association of Indiana Counties. Larry?
Thank you, Matt. And thank you to the media who are here to listen to our plea, really. LSA, Legislative Services Agency, had done some research with respect to the impact of doing away with the business personal property tax in its entirety, or doing away with the 30% floor. We don't have data, or at least I'm not aware that we have data yet, as to what the impact will be to local governments under the current language of either the House bill or the Senate bill. But suffice it to say, there will be an impact. Every unit in the state has been harmed, I think, by the property tax caps. I think probably an unforeseen consequence of that legislation. Each dollar that we get is dearer today than it was before the property tax caps were imposed. And frankly, I don't think there's any unit that has the wherewithal to sustain additional losses without the risk of doing away with services. That is certainly true in Hendricks County. Our property tax cap loss, and under current law, is just a little under $21 million. As far as the state's concerned, that's a drop in the bucket, but for our county, that's a lot of money. We would have the opportunity under the legislation to impose an income tax to replace whatever would be lost by the business personal property tax. I'm not anxious to ask our citizens to pay more out of their pocket to give business taxpayers a break, which is really what it is. There's no information that's available at this time that would tell us that doing so, that is, doing away with the business personal property tax, would have any great impact on the attraction of businesses to this state and to the counties and the cities and the towns. All we have now is speculation. I would suggest to you that there are some counties that are in a much different position with respect to the impact of the loss of personal property taxes than other counties. And I'm thinking of Spencer County down along the Ohio River. I believe a little less than 50% of their tax revenue comes from business personal property taxes. How they would make that up by an income tax, I don't know. If it was done away with completely, I know that they would have to impose an individual local option income tax of almost 2.5%. Other counties have very little in the way of business property, and the impact would be slight. Bottom line, there's a great difference from county to county as to what the impact would be and what the consequences or the remedies might be to recover that income. As Matt had suggested, if you look at the model which is being touted by the state, that is Michigan, there's a replacement there by the state, and I would suggest that this is a state initiative that we do away with the personal property tax for businesses, or a portion of it, and I have no problem with that, but if that's going to happen, then the state ought to be making up those funds. We could leave everything in place as it is and then have a business apply for either a credit or a refund from the state. Makes it a lot easier for administration by local governments and relatively simple for the state. It's very easy to give away something if you don't have to pay for it, and that's the situation we're in with the state offering the possibility of doing away with the business personal property tax or a portion of it, and then have the counties pick up the expense of that. So I would merely suggest that there needs to be more research done on this to find out what the true impact is going to be on the local governments, and that whatever that it might be, that the state ought to make up that loss. Thank you.